Americans will be resented around the world. If they weren't before, it'd be even more now. You guys know that for all the Africans, South Americans, and Asians that say like, oh, why do you want to leave the United States? It's my dream to go there. Well, that dream is done for at least for this next 4 years. So now it's even getting to a point where even if you are in the States legally, you are being kicked out, meaning that you have to be a citizen. And even then, I heard if you're not a naturalized citizen, that you can even have your citizenship revoked just because Trump is in office. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I've been seeing. Now, because of that, there's countries like Namibia and Brazil. Brazil is using a reciprocity tactic to say that Americans need $2,000 at least to come to Brazil. A place like Namibia recently said that usually it was visa free for Americans. You could just fly right in just like you can in South Africa, except for me. But now they want to enforce a visa, and I believe it's around 500 Americans that they're trying to deport for being there illegally. So basically it took Trump to say that, okay, you can't have these people in our country illegally, or we're going to make it harder for you to come to the United States when it was never easy in the first place.
This is very concerning. Ladies and gentlemen, hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Matkana Esther. If you're new here, hi, welcome. If you like my content, please consider subscribing, like, comment, and share. Let me know what you think in the comment section about this entire... No, because what do you want to tell me? The decisions Trump makes for America, they do affect Americans outside of America. And by the way, you can watch the entire video. It's Austin Holliman. He is living in Nairobi and he goes and travels to different countries.
Now, declining global reputation. This could be an issue it kind of probably already is, that Americans will be resented around the world. If they weren't before, it'd be even more now. For example, whenever I went to South Africa earlier this week, Americans are supposed to be allowed 90 days entry per year. And I was only there for 7 days back in January or February. So I'm thinking just like any other country in the world. I'm just thinking like, okay, usually when you leave the country, the clock pauses or it restarts, one or the other. It usually doesn't continue going as if, and I'll get to that in a second. So I'm thinking, okay, I'll fly in. I can still stay like another, 7 weeks or something. Like, I don't know how long. I'm not going to do that math right now. I'm thinking I can stay the remainder of my time, which I was only going to do 2 or 3 weeks because I want to be in Kenya for my birthday. So I go to the immigration officer, and he's a complete asshole. He's telling me that I'm lying to him about not going back. He tried to make it seem like I didn't even leave the country, even though we're at the fucking airport. We're at the airport, and he's trying to say that I didn't leave the country. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? And second of all, I'd never live here in the first place. And I'm telling him like, yeah, you can look at my passport. I went back to Kenya back in January. And he's like, oh, now you're switching up your story. And I'm like, wait a minute. Why is he giving me a hard time about nothing? Like, and my other friend, we came in and left South Africa at the same time. He said the lady was an asshole to her too, but she still gave him the visa until July. But for me, he was like, oh, well, it says your visa was supposed to end by the 25th. So that's when you need to be gone by Friday. Which I didn't give a damn because I didn't want to be there in the first place. It wasn't my idea to go there. So I was just going with my friend because he wanted to go there. And we was going to jump to somewhere else after that. But hey, if you tell me I need to be gone by Friday, trust me, I will be out of here at the speed of light. And I was out of there by Thursday. But people were leaving in the comments that it could be because of the issues with the foreign aid being cut off with Trump in South Africa, and that they could just be scrutinizing random Americans that come in there, which I don't know how likely that is. Usually government problems are problems with the government and not to the average citizen, but hey, maybe it could be. It could be the equivalent to an American going into a Soviet state back in the 40s or 50s. The 40s or 50s, that you might receive a different treatment. Some people just don't like Americans, some countries I should say, and it could get even worse.
Guys, I urge you to go and watch the full video. And I think my take from this that I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, as you watch this video until the end, most especially black people, do yourself a favor. and find citizenship in another country. You can keep your American citizenship, but please make your life easier and find citizenship in another country. Because I feel like that's gonna save you from all the troubles in the world that are happening. Like if an American reaches any immigration in another country and they are given problems because they are Americans, that's why you wish you had citizenship of another country. Because it looks like the Trump administration is making it so hard for Americans to leave abroad. Now, I think one that has shocked me the most is people switching up on Americans. See, like, let's say like 2 years ago, not even 2 years ago, like let's say a year ago, and before that, it was kind of like big being American. Not even kind of like, it was big being American. You know, you just say, I'm American, things are done to you, you get better treatment, you can pass anywhere, you know, no country is against you. This is why majority, not even majority, like almost every, let's say, African country, Americans don't need a visa to come here. Even if the African countries need to go to an American embassy and go through interviews to ask for a visa, Americans typically never ask for visas to come to African countries, most of them. But if we are looking at a situation now of not only African countries are kicking out embassies themselves, because if an embassy is kicked out of the country, then that means where is the relationship your country has with America? You understand what I mean? So if American countries, embassies are being kicked away from African countries, then that means chances of an American coming into that African country is hurt. Like when I watched the full video, he talks about how he got issues and then the embassy couldn't even help him. And that sounds very awkward to me because, like, you know, us in Africa, we have this mindset all along that an American, when they are anywhere in the world, whatever happens to them, it's just a phone call away. Like the embassy will bring Jesus Christ down to save them. But the fact that you have an embassy in an African country where you travel and they cannot even help you, it is crazy. And it is so unlike the America that we know as Africans in the head. You understand what I mean? If we have countries like Namibia, South Africa, closing down American embassies, and we have countries like Botswana, and they are saying, hey, Americans, you are not welcome here. You need to go through the paperwork. The way you make us go through the paperwork, you need to go through it too as well. Guys, it sounds so funny and hulala, but that's huge. That's a very, very, very big change for American expats, because now you cannot travel freely as an American. What? There's some things that I used to see in the movies like long time ago, because like people have a glorified, like African people, we have like a glorified American picture of Americans. It is long ago when I used to see it in the movies that, oh, when Americans go to, like, let's say in Iraq or somewhere, and they are captured, and then they will just put a ransom on this person and the government will pay millions of dollars to free somebody. But the fact that right now in 2025, we are looking at a situation where if an American travels to anywhere in the world, not even Africa, not even in the Middle East, not even just Asia, even in Canada, your neighbor, like just an American traveling to different countries, immediately people discriminate you because of the political climate in your country. What? And since I'm not American, like I would just even leave the IRS part, because it's even crazy that an American leaves America to go have a peace of mind somewhere on another continent, just for you to pay taxes twice, even when you don't live in the country. Guys, I don't know. I don't know if the Trump administration is doing more good than HARM towards Americans, or more HARM than good. Because, guys, this is not funny. If you wake up and start seeing Americans telling you they are being discriminated in other countries just because they are Americans, and that's because of the political climate that Donald J. Trump has set with other countries, that's huge. That's huge, because never before has it ever happened where an American is discriminated for being American. It is always the opposite.